Escape room workers of Reddit. What's the most absurd thing players have done? I interviewed for a job at an escape room. They told me that one of their standard instructions you must tell every group is to not stick things in electrical outlets because too many people did it. What's fucked up is, I went to an escape room in LA where one of the puzzles was literally to stick a fork in a socket. Everyone told me I was insane when I suggested it, but two of the prongs were folded back and there was fake soot around the fake outlet. I did it, and boom, gave us the next clue. I thought it was super stupid though. Why risk people learning that behavior and trying it elsewhere? I've heard of multiple escape rooms where one of the solutions is to do something like this. That would be really dangerous under normal conditions. I can't even begin to fathom the stupidity involved in teaching your customers to potentially kill themselves in order to win the game. I can't fathom a puzzle that would be solved by forking an outlet in any realistically logical fashion. Seriously, why would you need to perform that action? Seriously, why would you need to perform that action? Great way to escape being alive. One guy pissed on the wall, thinking the plaster was snow. WTF. I think he was drunk or very old and very nearsighted. Pissed on the wall. Should have gone to Specsavers. Should have gone to Barnard Castle. In the Netherlands there is this prison escape room where everyone is a prisoner and you have to escape prison. It is done in an actual ancient prison. There are about 300 participants and 85 actors, mostly prison guards and some prisoners. They have over 15 storylines which you can follow, and there are other inmates, actors, which will lead those storylines and send you one quests. Coming back to the question. At the beginning they warned everyone that no physical contact is allowed because during the first time people would actually threaten each other to get money and guards have been attacked. Also they had to warn people that you weren't supposed to try climbing the 50 feet high prison wall. Damn. That sounds expensive. I think it was about €80 a person. So like a nice dinner. I looked into it a while back. I mean maintaining 85 actors and electrical supply for a whole prison. Probably a money sewer. €80 doesn't sound too expensive for such an escape room. Sometimes those actors do it for very little pay or for free like haunt houses where actors scare people for fun. Lifted up all the tiles on the ceiling. I had to wonder exactly what clue brought them to that conclusion. Nothing said up, ceiling, above, yet every single tiles was down and, to their credit, piled in a corner. That is very nice and neat. Organization is key. Organization is key. Maybe. They mean organization as in corporation. They must mean corporation. Yes. So, corporation. Key. It's corporation. Guys, I think I've got it. Escape Room LLC is the corporation and they have the key. But they are hostile, so we have to burn down the entire corporation. Escape room enthusiast here. We spent far more time than I care to admit trying to figure out what the hell the numbers written in Sharpie on the underside of the rug in the middle of the room meant. Turns out they were an inventory number from the thrift store the designer bought the thing from. And nobody else had ever noticed them before. We still won. But that wasted a lot of our time. It's brave of you to admit that. You could have easily swept it under the rug. Oh fuck you. It's because of my rugged good looks, right? No matter how good looking you are. My heart belongs to Matt. One of them believed the clue was inside them. The files are in the computer. That coconut cake recipe was worth searching. Damn, what a throwback. OMG, what was this from? Arthur? The Magic School Bus? Am I just crazy? At an escape room near me, they had a group of lads on a stag do. These guys got very drunk and during the escape room thought they could escape via the sewers. They managed to rip out the manhole cover which was bolted down into concrete. This cover is now permanently broken as it's too expensive to fix, they said. Advised us to not escape via the sewers. Holy shit. Never underestimate a pissed up stag do, I guess. A pissed up stag do, Jesus Christ. English is complete gibberish. We were all pissed up. I got pissed on. Now I'm pissed off. It is a very absurd language. Please stop taking the piss with this thread. Come on. One time, a group was trying to figure out the code to a locked compartment. So this huge guy in the group decided this was a waste of time, and tried to rip off the compartment door with his bare hands. He was almost successful, but we stopped him before he could do further damage to the door. He didn't understand what was wrong. Another one happened where a group were handcuffed and they couldn't find the key. The game master was trying to give them clues to find the key, but they still couldn't find it. So one group member thought it would be best to use his leg. There was a table in the room with some items on it. He proceeded to knock over all the items with one kick. That group didn't win. Did you get Doom Guy's autograph by chance? Not an escape room worker, but second time I went to one, the owner told me that once a group decided to smash all the locks because they found the hammer on which a clue is written. They had to replace all locks, and it is now a toy hammer. I'd like to say those people were morons, but when we found it, the same idea was discussed in our group. Honestly, I blame them to a point. Only thing worse would have been writing the clue on a bolt cutter to find the key. This is a key. Also, how did the workers not step in after the first smashed lock and say, hey, guys, you can't break all the fucking locks? Maybe they were having a hard time breaking into the escape room. The fools put all the hammers inside. I feel kinda bad about the time our group unscrewed half the pictures on the wall using a paper clip, since none of us had the sense to think that maybe the pictures being screwed down was a sign we weren't supposed to look behind them. Edit. To elaborate, we managed to crack the combination lock to a drawer which had a jar of paper clips in it, to which our reaction was, do we have to pick a lock at first? And then, hey, I think these fit perfectly into the screws, but on the walls. Turns out, the actual purpose of the paper clips was to make a chain to dangle into a tube to pick up a key. Can't remember if we had a magnet or a hook to help, which we discovered after looking behind the one picture in the room not screwed down and finding the code to the combination lock on the drawer below the first one. I mean, if I worked in that escape room, I'd be hella impressed you got it all undone with a paper clip. Call me when they're doing something weird, okay boss? Hey boss, they seem to think that paper clip is a clue. Something weird. Remember, and they're using it to unscrew the pictures. Apostrophe. When you are stuck in a point and click and try using every items on every objects. There's entire continents that had to do this to figure out the hypnotized monkey / hidden waterfall valve puzzle in Monkey Island 2. Because they call wrenches spanners and have no concept of what a monkey wrench is. A group came in that disassembled some of the furniture, a bed and a desk, ripped some of the wallpaper off the walls, and pulled the heads off some stuffed animals. JFC. You would think not needing to destroy everything would be reasonable assumption. I wasn't there when it happened, but I heard through the grapevine that they had snuck in a couple tools and later explained that they'd been to a couple extreme escape rooms overseas where this was the norm. I'm pretty sure they just got kidnapped in South America somewhere. Lol, possible. It's also possible there's a YouTube video with 8 views out there of them pranking us. Not a worker, but was with a group of people, and one of them became so overwhelmed that almost immediately after walking in, they spun around and walked right back out again. Guess he won. That man. Abe Simpson. Does your father know you're working here? Obligatory, not a worker. Just done a lot of escape rooms and chatted with the staff. These are the dumbest people I've been told about. One of the rooms is based on Jumanji and has a waterfall with real water in it. Enough people have tried to drink the water that they had to tell people not to in their opening spiel. 2. One of the rooms has a bunch of museum style display cases with glass covering the top with different puzzles inside. One of has sand in it and small holes in the top. Someone tried to tip the display case over and get the sand out so they could read the hidden message. When the game master told them to stop doing that, she stopped momentarily and then tried again 2 minutes later. The game master told her if she did it again she'd be kicked out, and the woman said, just making sure you're paying attention. 3. People constantly try to pull up floorboards or tear down wallpaper in the horror themed room, even after they are told there's nothing hidden there and warned not to do it or they'll get charged for the damage. Pulled the air vent covers off the walls / floor. Had to add in an official disclaimer in the rules spiel I did before they went in the room. No clues in the air vents. Customers were stupid a lot, but it was a pretty sweet gig overall. And yet, a place where we went one time. After telling us that no clues are in outlets, switches, or vents, there was a clue in a Gorham fake vent. We failed to escape, and we were pissed. Yeah, that's dumb on the designer's end. If you put one clue in one outlet in one of the rooms, you have to expect they did something similar in some of their other vents. Mate worked at an escape room, and he told me that some guys tried to smash a hole in the wall to get out because it was an Alcatraz themed room. My dad owns an escape room in a small town in Norway, and the weirdest thing someone has done is probably trying to punch the camera. The guy was like 150 centimeters tall and couldn't reach it. After trying 3 times to punch it, he gave up. What did he think that would achieve? Maybe he thought it was part of the fictional plot, and blinding his enemies would give him time or something. Hey, one I can answer. Kinda. I was a dude in the room. It was my first 10-year-old brother's birthday party, and children are dumb AF. It was themed around a nuclear power station that was gonna blow up the town. And essentially what happened was we had an hour to complete 3 rooms. We took 45 minutes to get through the first because kids kept throwing stuff around. One guy got freaked out thinking it was real and pressed the button to end the room. Thankfully it didn't work or something, and my dad shouted at him. So he took a tantrum and fucking locked himself in a drawer. Then because the kids can't organize shit, we had to hunt for the most stressful 3 minutes of my life for the key. And then we got through, and it was sorta okay from there cause a lot of kids up and left the room. Never again. Never. Ever. Again. I'm kind of impressed with the kid who locked himself in a drawer. A stupid decision to be sure, but hilarious still. His cat instincts kicked in. Better lock myself in the drawer. I was a player, and I was in a large cage. Through the bars I had to open a heavy lock. The cage was dimly lit with lead bars on the floor. I got the lock open, but due to it being heavy and me having to handle it through the bars, I dropped it on the lead bar. At first I thought the light turning off was part of the room. Turns out I broke the lead bar. My dumbass thought you were misspelling lead, not talking about lead lights insert. I was the player here. This was a horror themed escape house with people in costumes screaming at you from time to time with chainsaws and shit. We were in a room with an open jail cage, and we knew the next clue was in that cage, but it's pretty obvious that cage was designed to scare the shit out of whoever was inside. I waltzed in. The cage door slammed shut behind me. I took the note and slipped myself out between the bars. We waited for several minutes until I slipped back into the cage so the game could progress. Later on, the workers told us they were really surprised when I had slipped out of their trap and were trying to figure out what to do next. I think you are missing a key detail in the story, which is that you were able to slip through the bars, presumably because of your size, where typically people couldn't. If I tried that, I'd probably get stuck and have to 127 hours my torso. Don't want that to happen again. Hold up. Again. Torsos grow back really fast. I don't work at one, but my coworker went to one last year and his story was hilarious. He's a really serious guy from Boston. Got talked into going to one with his wife and a few old friends that had come down for vacation. He said as soon as they walked in he saw a broom that looked completely out of place, so he grabbed it. He thought they'd need it at some point. They made it out of the first room. They go to the second room and he's still got the broom. He swears it was just too out of place to not be part of the puzzle at some point. They make it through the second room. The third room. They get stuck. They're reading the clues over and over, and he gets fixated on the broom while everyone else is searching the room. He's looking it over up and down, checking the handle for markings. Mind you, he has terrible near sight vision, and checking the bristles. Time's running out, and he's arguing with his wife at this point that the broom has the final clue. Time runs up. They walk out, and the crew is just dying laughing at him. Someone left the broom by mistake. Nothing more. Nothing less. He carried that damn broom through 3 rooms. He got a good laugh about it later, but he was embarrassed at the time. It was a great story he told the next morning at work. That is fucking hilarious. I'll weigh in with my mildly amusing escape room anecdote. Not that absurd. More anticlimactic. This was actually a break-in format where you were supposed to recover some locked up MacGuffin. We were really close and the next step evidently was to unlock a door. We solved the puzzle that we figured would allow us to do this. But then when we tried the door, it wouldn't open. So for the remaining 15 minutes or so, we scrambled frantically looking for more clues to figure out how to open this damn door, but failed. When we asked about it afterwards, the guy was confused because the last puzzle we solved was the one that should have opened the door. After some back and forth, it turns out the door just has a bit of a funny handle. Not part of the puzzle in any way. Just a door that works different from what you're used to. That's all that stood between us and sweet victory. We had a situation like that. We had just figured out the combination for an electronic safe. We type in 3/4 of the digits and they beep, but no fourth beep. Whatever we try opening it, it's stuck. Okay, wrong combination, let's look for more. Finally the game master comes on and goes back quote what are you doing? Back quote we put in the wrong code, so we are seeing what else it might be back quote oh. What number did you put in question mark quote back quote 6247 quote back quote. Game master shows up and tells us we solved it, but the batteries in the safe died. It was honestly upsetting how it played out. The escape room was 2 rooms, but the door to the first was broken, so it was always open. So when we unlocked the first door we thought that it wasn't actually open, closed it and went back to looking for clues. In our defense there was a light above it that was red. We thought that if it opened it would turn green. I was pissed, cause we wasted 15 minutes, and without that we would have had the record time and won a free game of laser tag. First thing I had to learn working at an escape room, everything, yes everything, in the room was going to be dismantled, pulled on, or messed with in some way. Have a screwdriver in the room, maybe there's a clue in the light switch cover. Black light, must have to take it completely apart. TV for clues, must have to unplug/change inputs. And anything not nailed down is bound to be broken. If you are new to Tattletale TV, please subscribe. I have new videos every day. Stay tuned right now for another